Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. With a little market update, precious metals are surging, and Palladium breaks a new record. Let's explore. It's pretty amazing how quickly things are changing. We're seeing another day of strong gains for gold and silver. Of course, I always caution as we see these metals spike like we are, understand that the opposite could happen just as quickly. I'm going to talk about that here momentarily, but let's talk a little bit about palladium. It is now topped over $3,000 an ounce. In fact, as I record this video, it is up over $200 to $3,071, smashing through its prior record of $2,900 and some odd dollars. That's just over a 7.5% increase. Amazing. We'll talk about the other metals here shortly, but palladium prices on Friday rose above that $3,000 psychological mark for the first time. And May 2021, we saw them rise up too, but concerns over supply shortages from top producer Russia has mounted. And the war in Ukraine bolstered demand for safe haven gold. And we're also seeing the same thing with silver as well. Silver has been climbing and other metals. We'll get into those momentarily here. Spot palladium jumped as much as 8.4% to $3,008.74 once in a session, was up 7.6% earlier, but it's climbed up higher than that. That must have been the ask price for palladium. What was earlier, because the ask price for palladium is still below $3,000. It's at $2,921 as we speak. Russia accounts for 40% of global production of the autocatalyst metal, which was headed for a 25% rise this week. That's a pretty big spike. It's the best performance since late March of 2020. There's a growing consensus that Russia is not slowing down in its military campaign. You're only going to see sanctions become a lot harder, and that's really going to disrupt businesses to get their hands on that supply of palladium, according to Edward Moya, who's a senior market analyst at Oanda. And that really is something to consider here, folks. The supply chains are going to be tight, and I'm considering that it accounts for 40%. And that's part of the reason geopolitical concerns has always been an issue for the platinum group metals, especially for palladium. And so be glad if you bought it when the price was low. In fact, I bought it quite some time ago. I have several ounces of it that I bought on a basis point of $167 an ounce. So I've done very well on that. But we have seen these highs before. And if you are in an attitude to sell, this would be the time to do it. See, I look at palladium as a fringe precious metal. To an extent, platinum as well, too. We'll get to that here momentarily. Flight bans, logistical issues, and sanctions will keep palladium very bullish, because this is happening during the time when demand is starting to pick up significantly. We've heard about recent news about a nuclear alert there in Russia. And also, just today, as I record this video, now the fires have been put out at Europe's biggest nuclear power plant, which was attacked. And there were fires raging for fear that there could be a nuclear disaster there. Thankfully, it didn't happen. But the people are pretty upset with Russia about it. The whole world, the UN is condemning Russia's actions there. Of course, different media outlets will say different things about it depending on which side you're on. Spot gold prices jumped 1.6%. Also earlier, in fact, today we're looking at them right now as I record this video. Gold is very close to reaching my second prediction, which I'm actually surprised it's going to get there that soon. Again, this is volatility that we're seeing here with Russia. It was at 1971. It's pulled back slightly, but it's up over 1.7% now, up $33 today. Silver is up 46 cents. It's up over 1.8%. The gold to silver ratio is it's 76.94. Still fairly high gold to silver ratio, but it's narrowing somewhat. Platinum has done very well today, up over 3.3%, up $36 to $1,126 for platinum. Wow. And so that's pretty exciting to see. And really, should not surprise any of us to see platinum start to catch up now, because a lot of platinum is mined in Russia as well. So there that is. Rhodium is the other metal that is mined, I think, in Russia, but also South Africa. Rhodium is up 1.6%, up over $300. It is now trading in the ask price right at $21,000. The bid price is $19,000. You can see the volatility of the metal is certainly evident here. I bought an ounce of rhodium when it was trading for $700 an ounce. Still paid $1,100 an ounce for the bar that I've got, but nonetheless, there it is. But these are the four major metals that we see here: silver, gold, platinum, and palladium. All eagles that you see before you here displayed. And that is what we are watching, these metals as they take a move here. And so we know that the Russia-Ukraine crisis will continue to support this prospect for higher precious metal prices, Saxo Bank analyst Ole Hansen said in a note. This is one thing that I disagree with some analysts out there who are trying to essentially dismiss these price movements because of geopolitical concerns. Mark my words, they are having an effect. Not for the long term, but for the short term. For right now, the crisis is still going on. How long will it continue? Some predict a 10-year Russia-Ukraine conflict. And now, that's not going to necessarily shut down the whole world economy. But if they're getting into a mode of a constant battle between these two nations, then more than likely, we will see some volatility, and it will have probably some effect on the precious metals, although they could still go down in the medium term under those circumstances, as maybe conflicts are held at bay. It could be a quagmire, much like it was with Afghanistan for 10 years, or with Iraq and the United States engaged there for a number of 10 years. Almost, in Afghanistan with the United States being involved there. But nonetheless, regardless, you get into that state. For right now, everything is up in the air. And that nuclear power plant situation is a great concern. And, not sure what's going to necessarily happen there. Apparently, Russia has control of that facility now. And so it's in their best interest to secure it for sure. But nonetheless, Putin's reputation has been damaged around the world, and that means that Russia's part in the economy before will not be visited again. He would not be able to rejoin the community of nations as he had in the past, and that includes with some trade and the like, unless there's a complete about-face and capitulation on Russia's part, which most of us don't see happening. Saxo Bank analyst Ole also says here, Hansen, this is not only due to potential short-term safe haven bid, which will ebb and flow, but more importantly, due to what this tension will mean for inflation, growth in central banks' rate hike expectations. And, everybody is counting on this rate hike to come in just a little over a week now, that the Federal Reserve will raise the rate a quarter of a basis point. That's 25 basis points, but that's likely it. And most of that is baked into the price right now. So many people don't feel that gold is going to drop under the circumstances. I think it could. Now, I don't think it's going to drop by a whole lot. In fact, I think we'll probably see a strong support at $1,900 at that point. But nonetheless, it very well could drop some when it actually does occur. We'll see. Bullion is considered a safe store of value during such uncertainties, including geopolitical, but also we have inflation certainly on our hand, and it largely ignored a 1% jump in the dollar. So the dollar index is up, but regardless, it's ignored it because of these tensions. Proof positive that geopolitical tensions, and especially what's going on with Russia and Ukraine right now, have a direct impact, and they are, on gold and silver, and obviously palladium. Because as of today, palladium, this metal here, is enjoying a record high price. It's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing to see indeed the movement in these metals as we embark upon this journey together here. So if you're holding precious metals, I would encourage you to hold on to them longer. If you have palladium and you want to sell for a great profit, it may not be a good idea. It may be a great idea because of the volatility of the metal to do it now. For me, I kind of like my palladium. I'm going to probably hold on to it. Most things I probably should sell, but I'm somewhat of a collector. Stocks on Wall Street fell as concerns over the conflict in Ukraine overshadowed strong U.S. jobs growth last month. And that is the case. Strong U.S. jobs growth, and they're ignoring it because inflation is here and wages are not keeping up with those jobs. But people finding they have to work now because prices are so high and they need to be able to earn money to pay to live. So we saw spot silver rise pretty dramatically here as well too. Again, almost 2%, and platinum has gained about 3.4%, as we talked about. So interesting times. We're heading into the weekend. For those of you who are familiar with the channel, I do a Sunday night market watch. And we do that every Sunday night as the markets open up. And we will be here this Sunday to see what happens and what's transpires over the weekend. But with a great increase that we're seeing in precious metal prices right now, as we head into the weekend, we have the whole weekend to think about it. And the Asian markets, I believe, could see an arbitrage, a difference, and how they could actually bring these prices down. And so what are your thoughts are? Just leave them generally in the comments section below. If you think that by the time the markets open on Sunday, if they will rise further or fall. I think they could actually fall a bit because these are fairly dramatic increases that we're seeing here ending out the week. And so we'll see how this plays out. I'd be curious to get your thoughts on that. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would, I'd appreciate not only a comment, but if you could gently just rub that thumb or finger gently over the thumbs up button. Any of your fingers will do, using your mouse or any kind of device that you can touch that thumbs up button and be greatly appreciated. So I want to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.